Hello, my name is Maddie Morris, and this is going to be a video essay of the movie Spy, directed by Paul Feig. The scene essentially begins with an ensemble shot. Notice who isn't there, Susan Cooper, because she's in the background right now and isn't even in that shot. Notice also that when the agent is in the shot, we see the back of the director's head, showing her power over him particularly. Now, when she has her own shot, we don't see the back of anybody's head, showing how she is the one in power. Noticing once again the ensemble shot, and now we see Susan Cooper, and she gets a shot. In the background still, also how these two men on the side, every time they come to screen, they're on there together. They don't have identifiable traits that separate them. They kind of represent a unit rather than separate characters. Now, this agent is starting to get a stronger hold on the situation, and the director's head is no longer in the shot. You can kind of see how their interaction is going by how dominant their shot is, whether or not the other person's back of their head is in it. Once again, we have these two comedic relief characters off to the side. And then we have Susan Cooper, where we just see her briefly. And her backdrop even looks different. If we see, she looks like she's almost in a different place because of her background. She doesn't have a seat at the table, and it almost looks like an older area. But now she's getting up and moving. She's moving a little more to the front. Now we're getting to see a wider shot. We see more of Rick Ford's face when he's talking to Susan Cooper than with the director, because he feels like he has more power talking to Susan Cooper. He feels like Susan Cooper is below him. Even though it's interesting in this scene how she's the one standing and they are all sitting. Because usually that would commandeer some sort of power dynamic. Yet she still doesn't seem to have the power in the scene. It's also interesting how they do a shot and reverse shot, so they go from one character to another. Particularly, they like to do it between Rick Ford and the director to show their conversations and how they're going. They tend to like somewhat more of a wide angle, yet the camera does seem to be between the characters, although there's a few shots where the back of the head is included. This is more of a comedic scene, although it's set more seriously, and so that may be why it's more zoomed in. One of the videos we watched talked about how it tends to be more zoomed out with comedic scenes and more zoomed in for emotional scenes. But this is kind of playing off of the comedic or the serious elements to make it comedic. Rick Ford shows his defeat by leaving.